have on the show a special guest today. We have Liam Pollock, who's sitting forward. He's actually a very tall gentleman there. We did adjust the camera there. It's all good.
It's a bit like the barber chairs when I get in there.
There we go.
To slide down the chair so I can fit into. They can cut my hair, but
like I have said in the last few podcasts, this is all about the why. So the motivation, the purpose behind what people do in their day-to-day lives. Liam, I've known for quite some time now. About 6 years now, ever since you got involved in.
Yeah, I've lost count. Like, you might have kept counting.
Yeah.
I've lost. Maybe it's because I'm a bit younger and it's not dawning on me as that much. But yeah, it's been a long time. I've been in high school now, and basically you've been just doing your thing, and I find that pretty crazy. How just we're two completely different age groups, and we just got to know each other for so long over this long time. Just a friendship, a partnership between
it's
volunteering and all that stuff.
It's been quite a journey for sure, and it's great to have you involved in things that I do with the gaming and esports. Obviously, everyone can see the banner behind me. Those listening can't, but Next Tier Gaming and Esports being the organisation in the NT that runs the largest esports happenings, basically. We're proud to be doing that. But tell us a bit about yourself, Liam. You've been in Darwin for what?
My whole life. Yeah.
Born?
Been here since I've been raised, and I'm very, very quiet, comfortable person. I'm not obviously the most social person if you ever get out to know me, but I do appreciate the people that get close to me. So people like David, who have been there this whole time, I do appreciate a lot, and I try to help them out and give back to them. So maybe not the most social butterfly, but definitely still have a lot to say when I do get to meet the right person.
So you have a reason or a why, I guess, to why you do that, right?
I think I can't focus on too many things at the same time. If I start talking to too many people, it's just like there's people that I want to focus on and that I enjoy being around. I don't get to spend as much time with. So stuff like that, I do like a very simple life. I have these things I want to focus on, and the more that gets added to that, the more that gets taken away. So,
yeah. I see. I've always seen you as a focused individual. That being, I see that in your gaming actually. Your ability to focus, and you just have this winning attitude and focus when it comes to gaming. If you want to just share us how do you do that? Like, how do you put so much time and effort into a game, and how do you perform, and why do you do it?
Well, I think number one for me just is I hate losing. Who doesn't? But it comes from the way I was raised. I played a lot of video games while I was growing up, and I got out of my casual phase very quickly. I was playing Call of Duty. I was playing run and die, kill someone, run and die. It was just a very casual experience. But somewhere along the way, I got sick of dying, and I just wanted to get the kill, and then keep going, and then get the huge montage kill streaks. Like all the Call of Duty stuff you see on the YouTubes these days. And I wanted to achieve that, so I started watching videos. I started studying things, and I took things a lot more serious than your average person. And it carried over from game to game. I spent a lot of time on Call of Duty. I wasn't a professional by any means, but eventually I found some other games that perked my interest. In high school, I started playing League of Legends, and I think that's where it really took off, because that was the first serious competitive game, and that's where you could really get into the nitty gritty of what esports is, and where I basically got hooked. And I guess the way I get good at those things, like I said, I keep my other distractions to a minimum. So this was especially true in high school, basically, where I didn't have much to do at all apart from school. I'd get home and I'd probably just sit down on the games. It wasn't a super healthy lifestyle that most parents would want to see, but basically that's how it came to be. I got pretty good just because I did put in so many times. I got home, I started grinding, and I was learning. I was like, how do I get good at this particular thing, even as minuscule as it is? And I really just take the study seriously. And that's probably because the distractions are a minimum.
Well, it's like anything, isn't it? It could be a musical instrument, it could be a hobby, anything that anyone is into. And gaming, you're a perfect example of someone on an esports level. So I guess that's that relatability. Gaming becoming very popular now in, well, let's just say all ages, but mostly the youth, upcoming youth that are coming up, our next esports champions. It's good to see. It's good to hear that someone's actually been through that road, and
Yeah, and definitely it sounds a lot easier than it is, but yeah, I like to downplay like how much I play. It's just like I don't play that much, but I think how much I've played over the years, just in total, it's just like it probably blows people out of the water. And I'm just like, people are just like, how are you so good at games? And it's just like, the time usually probably speaks for itself. Like a lot of people play it just recreationally too, so they just play it for fun. But I was playing that like seriously. I was trying to win those games as hard as I could, because I hated losing, and that was my mentality. Thing.
Yeah. Well, I had a great chat with Dylan on the last show about what motivates people to play games, and there's a lot of factors of why people get into gaming and what sort of elements they bring. I mean, League of Legends, that game itself has a lot of different elements to the game that would mean you're into it. There's that story, there's the lore, there's all these other things they're going into like Netflix series, and
it's crazy.
There's so many avenues now in gaming, and we're talking about it again. We keep coming back to it. We're just so involved in it. But yeah, look, that is heavily what you're a part of.
I'd say it was definitely a big part of my life, but now it's sort of helped me focus in on other stuff too. So when I come into work now, like I do have that very serious attitude where I am committed to this job.
Yep.
Even when I was working at Kmart casually for who knows how long, I was working the hardest there. They gave me the most hours. They wanted me on next shift. They were asking me to cover shift, stuff like that. And it's just because, like I showed I was serious, and like even something as silly as Kmart, like it might not get you anywhere, but if you do take it seriously, there are a lot of takeaways from a simple job in retail, and you can bring that across to many different jobs. Like my IT job right now, I'm dealing with customers a lot, and you can bet that all the time spent at Kmart dealing with customers has carried over, and all those interactions I've had has definitely helped me now further my career.
Absolutely, man. And I guess, I can definitely relate to the same thing. You definitely find things, even in gaming, like your dedication to the game, and not quitting in the game or not being toxic or whatever. That all applies in real life, right? Like I hear some of these people online, and I was like, there's no way this person is like this in real life. Like they literally just like, yep, I got a keyboard, I got a screen, can't do anything, I'm invincible, I'm going to say all this stuff. But in real life, like,
Yeah, and it can go the other way too. Like people on Instagram posting this stuff, living their extravagant lifestyles. They're like all this, and then they turn off the camera and they're eating 2-minute noodles or something. It's just like it can go either way. But I do think the most important part is just do something that you do love, because obviously when I was in school, I was playing video games so much. Probably should have been studying, but the difference was like I did not enjoy studying at all. Like not many people do, but it is obviously a good use of your time, and people should practice that. But I've kind of found my own way. I learned my own lifestyle through playing those games. I've developed this work ethic, this work attitude, and I've carried that in, and it's gotten me further along, even though, it's not the traditional way of, getting your A+ in school. It's like I got by. I just applied myself in my jobs, and people saw that and they picked up on it.
Yeah, well, I think if you ask anyone what they really want in life is they want to live a fulfilling life. They want to live something that they get something from, some value or whatever. There's always a reason why. And that's, again, why we do this podcast. It's good to hear that from different people's perspectives, because you obviously had your things that you've gone through and you've been a part of, gaming, esports, which has shaped what you're about, and also those experiences with the job. But what about something else? What else are you in? Anything else you reckon that sort of motivates you? And
there's been different periods. Obviously, I'm not too old. I'm 24. I'm getting there, but I've had periods in my life where I've had these different motivational strokes. Like I played a lot of games, so I can tell you for a long time I didn't have a girlfriend. So at some point, I was just like, I want to have a relationship. I want to get serious, and I had this really great period where I was like super motivated into gym, and I was like going hard. I was cooking meals. I was eating cleaner than I usually did. I was hitting the gym like every day, 7 days a week, like stuff that I would never imagine myself doing now. I'm just like, now I think about trying to do gym 7 days a week, and I'm just like, I'm already exhausted just talking about it. But it's stuff like that. There's little goals there that if you really want it that bad, you do some crazy things to achieve it. And
Yeah.
that's basically what happened. Like,
It's like anything though, right? Like, you know, it could be anything. Gym's just one thing. I can relate to that as well. Like that, I'm in the gym. I only go 3-4 days a week though, so I think going any more than 4 days is just ridiculous. Like unless you're training professionally. I mean, just
Yeah, I think it depends on like your routine and stuff like that.
Yeah,
because I would rather do like small sessions, but like really exhaust myself.
Yeah.
And do like the focused groups of muscles.
Yeah.
But some people like doing that full body workout because
Yeah.
they can only hit gym so many times a week. But I was just like, I need to optimize. Like when I'm playing games, I need to optimize my learning and optimize my time spent. It was kind of the same at gym, even though it's like completely two different things.
Yeah, and that's your lifestyle, right? And I guess, I think, I read recently because I read some self-help books and stuff like that, but there's one about, focus and life balance and all that. A lot of people talk about life balance, and it's like it's a balancing act. I could do this, but I got to give up that. I got to do this, but I got to do that. But I think from after reading this, he actually talks about your life's sort of you're like the conductor of a symphony orchestra. Mm-hmm. All right, you're at the front, and everything in your life that you do plays a part, right, in the song that you're trying to do.
Yep.
So it's not that you have to sacrifice one thing to do the other, like girlfriend, relationship. You obviously have to make that work, but you find ways to make that work with what else you're doing, and they sort of should complement each other. So yeah, just thought I'd share that. It's a great way to look at things. When someone tells me life balance, I try to get that out of my head, because I don't want to think that I'm doing one thing that's detrimental to something else. So. Yeah. But yeah, gaming I think is a good. Well, that could be. I mean, it depends. I mean, you've been competitively gaming in the season, so there's definitely a motivating factor to be a part of that, right? Yeah,
there's that. Obviously, the orchestra example you gave is really good. So I'd say if you're going to talk in terms of volume, like that gaming volume has definitely gone down a tremendous amount between my 9-to-5 job now and my relationship.
Sure.
I've definitely also joined into the crowd, and I'm orchestrating towards them a little bit more now.
Good.
But obviously that I do have that part in me that still wants to go back. And I remember at the beginning of my relationship, I was just like, I might even give up games for this girl. But eventually you come back down to earth off of the honeymoon phase, and you're just like, actually, I enjoy both things and I want to keep both. But it is that balance that you're talking about. So
it's that harmony, that balance, I guess, that we're all looking for. Because I mean, everyone wants to do so many things, right? Like I want to do so many things. I run karaoke one night, and then I'm running gaming the next, and then I'm like chucking a staff through, or bringing out a lightsaber for no reason. Like, there's always a reason, everyone. Just so you know, if you do see me doing something crazy, there's always a method or some sort of reason why I do it. But and that's like everyone, like yourself. Like you have that purpose, that reason, which is what this is all about. So. Yeah, so I'm just looking up because I'm trying to think of all the things that we've both been doing, but
we've both definitely changed our lifestyles. I remember back at the beginning, you were mainly focused in on that gaming, but now you're focused in on like 5 different areas, and you're doing really great at all of them. And now, I was also just pretty much focused in on that gaming part too, but now I've spread out. Dedicating my time to a lot more things than just that. And I realize the importance of it all. I think is the important part, because that you were talking about that reason, and obviously I have that reason. I want that future. I want to be able to have that family, because I enjoy the relationship side of things, side of life and stuff like that. And you're not going to be able to get that all just playing games. And sure, I do get that competitive rush, that competitive high, but sometimes you need a bit more in your life too, a bit more variety. And obviously, that's why the orchestras come in, and we're playing our symphony.
You
now.
Like that analogy, right?
It is good.
It's good. It's a good one. I heard it too, because I relate to it being music and everything. I was like, that makes sense. So I guess I won't go too much into detail your personal stuff, but you got a relationship. For those gamers out there that we won't sort of give him advice how to get a girlfriend or anything, but how do you manage your relationship life and your gaming life? You said you love both, but what? I don't know. Did you have a sit down and talk and say, did you go, oh, I like you gaming. You can have your game time.
No, I actually got complimented by my girlfriend recently about this, saying I'm doing a really good job of balancing it out, because obviously she finds it pretty easy to see being in a relationship and seeing when I play games that I do love that.
Yeah, that's good.
And she doesn't necessarily share that love, but she wants to see me happy. But
that's good. Yeah. That is great to hear.
She wants to see me happy, but I also want to see her happy. And if I'm dedicating all my time to one thing and not much to her, obviously that's not a good bridge to be on for her. I mean, but yeah, like it's the balance as always. Like if I'm spending 10 hours playing games during a day, you got to spend 10 hours the next day with your girlfriend and stuff like that, because if you start to love the games more than your girlfriend, she's gonna start to notice it. She's gonna call you out on that. And
there you go, everyone. A bit of free advice there for you.
So you can definitely consider your time at least half. It really depends on the person. Sometimes they have their own hobby and they might not be available, but you have some really good quality time when you do both have time to spend with each other. It's really good quality time. So it could be like 90% focusing on your hobbies, but that 10% is like really precious between you two. Yeah. The relationships are never really straightforward, but I think it's as long as you're open with your partner and you discuss that properly, like you can have any sort of relationship you want, as long as there's that transparency. Yeah,
there has to be some understanding as well. Like I think early on in the relationship, I mean, when you're getting to know each other, in that honeymoon phase, like you said, trust, you build the trust, obviously, that needs to happen. Yep. And that understanding of what, she likes, he likes, or whatever. So, yeah, I think that's very important, especially with gaming, because gaming's such a, I've heard the stories of the girlfriend smashing the Xbox or something. He needs to understand that, it's not all about games, but there's more to life, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah. Like, you go through the hoops early on. Like, I definitely struggled to see that when I was a bit younger. It's just like, I didn't find much any other things fun, but obviously you eventually tire out of things. You can't just do one thing your entire life. And, I'm sure, like, anything you do, if you do it long enough and you don't have the reason that you're doing it isn't because it's fun anymore, it's probably your job at that point. Like, I'm sure if you ask many AFL players, like, do you love playing AFL? And they might give you like the PR response, like, yeah, I love it. I love spending 8 hours a day or every day of my life doing this. But I'm sure like they're actually like, they love fishing, but they have to spend all their time on AFL sort of thing. And it's kind of the same. Like, I loved gaming, but all of a sudden this girl enters my life and I love spending time with her, and then eventually you got to find that balance between it, and make sure neither one turns into your job. That's the main thing.
Yeah, definitely. Some good messages there, man, and that really hones in on the whole message of this podcast is we want to just get the message out there, because I'm sure there's some people out there that have that awkward conversation with their partner about the gaming side of things, but I guess there needs to be a double understanding there on why they're doing it and what the motivation is. I mean, if any way to get into gaming, take your gaming, is get into esports. I mean, that's a very good motivating thing to get into. Yeah. At least you win something.
I think it can apply to just all sorts of relationships too. I know my parents probably would have loved to have this talk earlier on, and I probably wouldn't have had a very mature conversation about it. But now that I've understood things a lot more and the balance of life and stuff, it's a lot easier to talk about these things. But obviously, if you do love something, you just make sure the people around you know it. Be transparent and say, this is the thing I love, and I'm sure. Yep. It might change a year from now, but that's just the phases people go through.
You got to own it. You got to own it sometimes, right? You got to just, a lot of people talk smack, oh, you guys are nerds, they're playing games and everything. But, you say, I love playing games. It's cool. Even some of the most famous actors like Henry Cavill, right? Yeah. He was on the show the other day talking about Warcraft. He corrected the host and said, no, it's Warhammer, not Warcraft. Oh. So that was great. It just goes to show, and even let's just own it. If you are into something and you're like passionate about it, just
I think, yeah, that was something I was definitely shy of in the past too, because I think just generally in Australia, it's not exactly an attractive feature to say like, oh, I'm a gamer by any means. And it might be different if you're in a different culture, like over in Korea or something like that. You're a superstar if you're a pro gamer or something like that. It's crazy, the differences. But I think I had a much easier time when I came to terms as you're like, this is who I am, and I shouldn't be shy to tell people about that and like pretend I'm someone else, because people might just like talk to me, and if I'm not showing that side that I am, they might just think I'm completely shallow. You know, it's just like,
Absolutely.
I'm spending a lot of time on this thing that I love doing, but I'm not sharing that with people.
Yeah.
And they just might miss who you really are, and you might miss out on some great relationships that way.
Some great messages there, man. All right. Well, look, that pretty much wraps things up. It's been 20 minutes. That's good enough there. So thank you for coming on the show, Liam. It's been great to have you, man.
Happy to come on board. You know, not too many super deep messages, but I just think like, this is basically the everyday gamer like event.
Super gamer, man. You've done some really great stuff, and a big props to Liam. He's 3-time champion. I don't even know how many times you're a champion now. You're just a multi-time champion in both team and individual esports titles. So well done.
I usually, the way I see it in my mind is I don't actually see that many. I don't remember how many times I've won. I remember the times I came second. I can easily recall. That shows you a little picture into what my mind looks like. It's just like I expect to come first, but it's obviously a difficult ask. So there are times I come second, but I will remember that second, and I will be like, "Oh, I'm coming back for you next year," sort of thing. So
yeah, man, watch out for Liam. If you ever verse him, if you beat him, he's going to come back for you.
You can guarantee it.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, thanks again, Liam. It's been great having you. Until next time, everyone. This has been the Why Podcast with Liam Pollock. We'll see you next time. Thank you.